Hello everyone, welcome back to Dynamics 365 Human Resources, and we're configuring the Human Resource module in Dynamics 365 today, and we're going to continue doing so up until we actually get to the processes. So if this is the first time you have stumbled upon this video to learn about the HR module and what the capabilities are in Dynamics 365 F&O, then do feel free to go through some of the videos that I've posted. So they're very helpful and you can gain a lot of knowledge out of it. So you should be configuring the system as we go, and you're familiar with the home page of Dynamics 365 F&O. So we're going to continue going into the shared parameters. So if you click on Human Resources, and right underneath the setup, there is Human Resources Shared Parameters. So we've talked quite a bit about the other tabs and other configurations that you can do, and today we're going to simply touch base on financial dimensions. So if you're not familiar with what financial dimensions mean within the system, that is something that you should really get into the habit of conversing with your client, because financial dimensions are nothing but a strategic business dimension. So this is something that your client will give you in order for them to use this in a meaningful way, basically to get enough information from the transaction that's posted. So it's very applicable to the finance piece where the general ledger is, but the financial dimensions play a crucial role in the HR parameters as well. Simply because one of the easiest examples for me to think about for you to know is the financial dimensions play a role against when you are paying an employee as an expense. So you will want to know how much expense from an organizational point of view is being delegated or allocated to an employee. So this is where a financial dimension comes into picture. Of course, there are other financial dimensions that you should be noted about, which are cost centers and departments. So that it will always play a role because every organization would rather or either have a cost center or a department. So very applicable here in my implementations that I've done. So within the human resource shared parameters, you can always, enable or disable those. If it obviously you should enable them because these are relevant to you. So even if your client is not familiar with what dimensions are used for, you should be able to explain them what they are. In our case, the most applicable ones that I've seen are obviously the cost center that I've mentioned, the departments. You assign the dimension to a worker, so we'll get to see that on the worker profile at some point when we go through the processes. And some organizations that I've seen actually talk about or would like to have a financial dimension assigned to the projects. So if your organization or if your client actually deals with projects, then you may want to enable the project financial dimension as well, just because you are assigning workers as resources. So whichever project they're on, the expense associated with that project has to be accounted for. So that's the piece for financial dimension. And if you want to read a little bit more about what exactly is the implications, apart from what I have mentioned, you can always go to the Microsoft Learn, and they have quite a detailed information related to how the financial dimensions work. But ideally, from simplicity perspective, you should simply know that a financial dimension is basically a tag that is attached to a transaction. And at some point, when you want to run some reports against that tag, you can run the reports accordingly. And so mostly you would talk to a finance expert in order for you to know which financial dimensions are required from the HR perspective. So with that, we will close off for today, and we're going to talk about the benefits management, which is quite the big piece, but we'll pick it up in the next video and talk about some of the parameters that you can enable for benefits management.